Williams Brothers Talking Head American Pale Ale.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got another one from the Lidl craft beer range that was gotten by me the other day. Cost me £1.49, and I have to say the ones I've tried so far have been really good. I've tried the Black IPA from, Stuart Brewing. I've tried the Loch Lomond New England IPA, which was really good. And I'm about to try this Talking Head American Pale Ale from the Williams Brothers Brewery. Williams Brothers are a favourite with Lidl. I've tried some of their stuff before. In fact, I think most of their range has gone through, most of the core range has gone through Lidl at some point, and it's all been available for under £2, which is a real bargain, I think, if the beer's good. Now, this one, as I say, was £1.49. The other two were all under £2. I think they were £1.79. And for the taste, I'm pretty sure if I wasn't buying it in Lidl, that would be a hell of a lot more expensive. But this brewery here, Williams Brothers, they're from Alloa in Scotland. And when I first discovered them, I really liked what they did. However, I've since come to the conclusion they're a little bit hit and miss. I've had a couple of bad ones from them, but I have to say the majority have been good. And the one that really stood out for me was the Jim Marshall range that they did. They did a Belgian IPA, which was really good. First Belgian IPA I've ever tried, and that was really nice. They did a hopped lager or hoppy lager and a pale ale as well. Both really nice, and I really had a lot of time for the brewery. They were really good. And then I tried their Frock, I think it was called, brewed with heather. And I really didn't like that at all. And I've had a couple of others since from them. I think one of them was their lager, which again came from Lidl. I really didn't think much of that. I thought that was very, very average for the price. And there was a couple of others. However, I did try the stout. I think it was called March of the Penguins, and I thought that was really good. So when I say they're a hit and miss brewery, I don't mean that they're bad. They've genuinely good, but they do the odd bad one. So just be wary of that. I'm hoping this one isn't going to be one of their bad ones. So let's investigate what this beer is all about. It is 440ml, is it? No, this is a 500ml can. Do you know what? When I pulled this out of the fridge, I thought that this was going to be, the usual caper 440ml. But this is a 500ml. Now that is a first for a craft brewer. Normally it's 440. Okay, that is interesting. And they've done this at 4.48%, 4.4% ABV on the alcohol stakes. The hops that are in here are quite interesting. They're a series of American hops. And I'll just quickly run through them so you know what sort of flavours you're going to get. First hop is the Magnum hop, which is a bittering hop. So you would use that, you would boil the crap out of that, and it releases all of its alpha acids. And they're very, well, I'm presuming these are high alpha acids, but it would release all the bitterness from the hop, and that would be your bittering hop that's used in it. Magnum is used quite a lot for that, especially in West Coast IPAs and other American pale ales. Next, they've got an Equinox hop, which is renowned for its citrus, its fruit, and its herbs. Its herbal notes that come with it are quite pronounced depending on the alpha acid content. Then you've got the daddy of all hops, you've got Citra. I don't think an American pale ale will be complete without some Citra hops thrown in there. Of course, they are renowned for their citrus, as the name suggests. Then you've got Mosaic. Now, Mosaic is a really interesting one because that's been used in some of the best pale ales I've tried, the American style pale ales I've tried. And Adnams, who I have a lot of time for, do a Mosaic Pale Ale, Jack brand Mosaic Pale Ale, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. They got that spot on, and they only used one hop, and that was Mosaic, and it tasted fantastic. So that's a good hop if you know how to use it. That's fruity, that's got mango, but it's also renowned for its lime and orange notes as well. The mango really does stand out. That's what it's renowned for. That's what I was getting in the Jack brand Mosaic Pale Ale, and that's why I like it. I love mango. Mango in a beer is absolutely gorgeous, especially in a New England. And last hop is Cascade, which is basically similar to the above. However, you get more of a grapefruit character with this one, but it has got spice, citrus, and some slight herbal notes as well. So it's an interesting lineup of hops you got there. There's also some wheat in there, which is pretty standard for New England IPAs and American Pale Ales. It gives the beer a little bit more body, and it does make a difference if you use wheat. It also gives it a little bit more of a creamy character, I find, in the mouth. So let's stop gassing. Let's get this 500ml can of Williams Brothers Talking Head Pale Ale open. I don't know why I keep going on about it, but 500ml for a craft beer can is a first for me. So if this is good, I will take the proverbial cap off to Williams Brothers. Now I'm going to put it into this glass. I'm not sniffing it out of the can. I have given up sniffing beer out of a can. There it is in the glass. It looks reasonably clear. There may be a very, very slight haze on that, but there's not much. It looks like that's been filtered. Quite a lively carbonation in there, and the head is quite big too, quite foamy white head. It's come straight out of the fridge, so it is quite cold. On the nose, what are we getting? Yeah, and when I was talking about them Mosaic hops and I said they've got a mango character to them, that's one of the first aromas that I'm getting from this. And then I'm getting the lime, which again, is that lime? Yeah, it is. Which again is coming from Mosaic. And as I always say, you will not go wrong with Mosaic if you're using that in an IPA or a pale ale, because it does give off some fantastic aromas and flavours. What else are we getting? Yeah, standard American hop flavour, standard American hop aromas. And it smells quite interesting. It is clear though. That was not me. There is the faintest suggestion of a bit of haze on that, but hell of a lot of not, if you know what I mean. Let's get it down the hatch. It is boiling out there, so I'm hoping this is going to be nice and refreshing. Yeah, that's quite nice. It's a typical American pale ale. It's what I would expect. Now there are some American pale ales out there which are a lot more hazy. Notably, or the most common, the one that springs to mind is the Vocation Pale Ale, which is a lot hazier than this, but it does share a hell of a lot of the flavours. So there's a cross section there. You're getting quite big mango flavours, a little touch of pine on there. That is coming through, but it's not massive. Not really getting much orange on there, but I am getting lime. And again, I think that is coming from the Mosaic hops. And on the finish, I'm just getting this now. This is just coming to me. There's earth and there's spice, which could be coming from any one of the, you know, the Equinaut or the Cascade hops that have gone into this. Now the IBUs on this are down as 40, That's the IBUs are the International Bittering Units, which that's unusual. I'm pouring it into a 440ml glass, and there's still some left over in the can, or there was some left over in the can. Just in case you're wondering, that is what the can looks like. Talking head, don't know why they've called it that, and it's got the usual caper on the side of the tin. What have we got? This extra pale ale is an assertive blend of US hops, fruit aromas of pine, a tomahawk hit of soft, ripe tropical fruit, explodes on the palate. Yeah, that's a pretty good description of what I was getting. And it says it's pale ale, extra pale ale. Oh, they classed it as an extra pale ale. American pale ale, extra pale, crisp and fresh. Okay. Give it another go. Not bad. I think if I'd have paid more for this, I probably wouldn't have been too impressed. Now, 500ml in a can for £1.79 of decent American pale ale, in my book, is not a bad shout. I quite like this, and I like the value for money on this. Did I say £1.79? It's not, it's £1.49, which is even cheaper. And unfortunately, that is the price you need to be setting your craft beer at if you want to compete with the big brands. So what's the verdict on Williams Brothers Talking Head American Pale Ale? Yeah, it's a good one. I quite like it. For the money, you cannot go wrong. £1.49, which will no doubt please the people in the People's Republic of Yorkshire who don't like parting with the cash. But no, the price is what does it for me. And as I said previously, if it was more expensive, I probably would have had a bit of a downer on it. But this is cheaper than the Vocation stuff. And it's probably not as good as the Vocation stuff, but it's not far off. If you like that big hoppy hit that you get from American pale ales, there's 500ml here for £1.49. You cannot argue with that. And this comes down to my point of, as I mentioned previously, that is the sort of price you need to be pricing your craft beer at in the supermarket if you want to be competing with the other brands. Now, I don't know how much Williams Brothers are making on this Talking Head. I can't imagine it's much, but they're getting their name out there, and to be honest, they've been supplying Lidl with craft beer for a while now. I don't know how conducive that is to making a profit, but they have had quite a few beers in their Lidl craft beer range, and they haven't been too bad. I suggest you get hold of some of this. For the money, you can't go wrong. It's not an outstanding American pale ale, but it is not bad, and it's got all the characteristics of a pale ale, of a decent pale ale, but it just doesn't really stand out for me. But as I said, for the money, I would probably buy this again. Stick a few cans in the fridge on a day like this. This is going down absolutely lovely. I like it. Look, there's really good lacing on that glass as well. Look, it's not a bad one. It's probably been filtered to within an inch of its life, because that is clear, but it's still got lots of flavour in that. Lots of nice, juicy, hoppy flavours. Not too bitter. Just right for an American pale ale, I think. So yeah, I'm going to give that 8.5 out of 10. And again, I'm going to say it's not an outstanding one, but I'm taking into consideration the price. For the price, £1.49, you cannot go wrong with that. 8.5 out of 10, definitely recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.